As America celebrates her 250th birthday, we're taking a closer look at how we got here. Today, the role of the steel industry here in Pittsburgh.
The alloy of iron and carbon formed the economic backbone for the nation and for the world's first middle class.
You can't explore America's 250th birthday without the story of steel. A story set in Pittsburgh.
So this was my grandfather's work badge that he wore at National for 48 years.
The face of a steelworker, William Kirkland.
Knowing my grandfather did this before me, that he made this possible for me to be able to do this.
William Kirkland, Kelly Vereb, just two of the thousands of steelworkers who forged America's backbone.
It's pride that we make steel here that makes a lot of things, around the world. Back in the days, they, built the bridges and the Empire State Building and stuff. There's pride. We see that logo on things, My washer and dryer was made with steel from my plant.
Let's go back in time to before Kelly Vereb started working at U.S. Steel's Edgar Thomson plant in Braddock.
Because Pittsburgh changed the world. This city literally and figuratively built the 20th century.
Just like steel requires very specific ingredients, Pittsburgh had everything necessary to launch a global industry. The first ingredient sits right below my feet. Geologists call the Pittsburgh coal seam the most important economic mineral deposit in the world. Number two, rivers for transportation. And the third and most crucial ingredient, Pittsburgh's people.
I mean, they came from all over the world. Originally, who's being attracted here to work in this industry? It's Northern Europeans, Germans, Dutch, English. And why? Because they have that background. They're working in the iron industry, in the coal industry, in Europe.
In Pittsburgh, Henry Clay Frick made his original money in coke, which is coal burned down into a byproduct that is essential for steel.
From Millionaires Row on Fifth Avenue in Shadyside, Andrew Carnegie, briefly the world's richest man, and his second in command, Henry Clay Frick, borrowed the British invention called the Bessemer furnace to construct cathedrals to capitalism by mass-producing steel.
So buying up property, building coke ovens. By 1880, roughly the time that he gets married and moves into Pittsburgh, he has made his first million. He is called sort of the king of coke. Partners up with Andrew Carnegie, and the two of them together kind of take the steel industry to the next level in Pittsburgh.
And they are business partners.
Business partners, not necessarily friends.
One of the great things about Carnegie is that he was constantly reinvesting. He was always cutting edge with technology. If something new was coming along that would change the industry, that would allow him to produce not just a cheaper steel, but a better steel, he would invest in it heavily. And that's what allowed for his success.
Carnegie left Frick in charge when he took a trip to Europe in 1892, the year of the Battle of Homestead. 7 steelworkers and 3 Pinkertons would lose their lives.
What happened here on July 6, 1892, changes America, changes the climate of labor in this country, and was really labor's last great stand in the 19th century. To say, we deserve a seat at the table, we deserve a piece of the American dream, that our labor, our sweat equity, is just as important as Andrew Carnegie's capital.
After the bloodshed at the Homestead Works, it would be another 40 years until American steelworkers got union representation again. And for 100 years, work in the mill and the United Steelworkers Union lifted millions out of poverty. The industry is credited with creating the world's first middle class. But after World War II, America helped former enemies build brand new steel mills, while Pittsburgh's deteriorated.
The Japanese steel companies in the 1970s, what did they do? And what moves did they make, chess moves, that led to the collapse of steel in Pittsburgh?
In the 1970s, our major competitors are German and Japanese steel. And why would that be? World War II, we destroyed all their infrastructure, destroyed their industries. And under the Marshall Plan, after the war, rebuilt those industries. They had newer mills. They had newer mills, they had less restrictions upon them, they're able to produce steel less expensively.
In the Mon Valley alone, the industry's collapse wiped out 95,000 jobs.
It was every other house. Every one of your neighbors had somebody, a brother, sister, uncle, mom, dad, somebody that worked here. That was this common. And I still don't think the area CV survived what happened.
The number of steel jobs dwindled, but the pride remains.
Sense of family, it's everything I've known for my lifetime with the jobs that are here. With the plants that have closed, but we've survived. A lot of people don't realize there's still 3,000 of us here making quality steel for, a lot of stuff that we need. So it's a pride in being a steel worker.
We're going to talk more about that pride for steelworkers. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we explore the future of the steel industry and why it runs right through the Pittsburgh region.